we do have a week off post-International Fight Week, obviously after Ilya vs. Charles and before Lewis vs. Teixeira in Nashville. So I figured, what else can I do but steal the ideas that every UFC YouTuber does, which is make tier lists in the meantime. Today we are doing a tier list that I don't believe I've seen yet, which is best and worst delivery drivers, the UFC Fighter Edition. So I've got 10 fighters hidden beneath the cropping of my screen recording at the moment in this tier list, and we're going to be putting each of them in a tier for how I would feel if they were my Uber Eats driver, my DoorDash driver. I feel like people don't use Postmates, so I'm not going to reference that, but we're just going to start it off here, man. I mean, we've got the hiding in the house category, which is, if you see this person, brother, you're running into the other room, and you're just, you might, check the phone. They might call you. You probably, text back, just leave it out front, that kind of thing. You really do not want to have a conversation with this person. Greeting them at the door is, they seem cool. You're kind of in the room already, so you just kind of walk outside and say hi and thank them for bringing your food, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then the $100 tip, there's only one guy on this list that I'm going to be putting in this area, and you will see why when he comes there, but this would be a goated delivery driver. You're actually trying to find a way to request to have them every single time as your guy. So, first things first. Let's start it off. Yeah, we'll start with this guy. Listen, I don't have to say why specifically you would hide in the house if you saw this guy's name as your delivery driver, but Islam Makhachev, I feel like if Islam was your delivery driver, you actually try and open the door. You're like, okay, let me not be racist and let me open the door and speak to this guy. And you're wearing, a fucking, your high school wrestling shirt. And he goes, brother, Virginia has no wrestling, brother. Russia have wrestling. And it would be a whole process where you're trying to explain to him that you really don't care about wrestling. You're just trying to watch the fucking Sunday night football game that's on. And he's, standing out there, yapping, fucking staring at you the whole time with his autism. And I feel like you would just, once you got him once and you saw his name again, you'd definitely hide in the house from him. And it would be a whole thing, and you just have to deal with it. So, we're keeping Islam in the hiding in the house section. Number 2, Conor McGregor. I'm going to say we're greeting Conor at the door, and I'll tell you why he's not in the bottom tier. I feel like if you got Conor as your Uber driver, you'd see all the tats, you'd see he's pulling up in a Lambo. You definitely want to meet this guy to see what he's up to. But you wouldn't give him a big tip because you'd open the door, right? It would be a whole process, you're waiting for your fucking Papa John's to get there. I think I'm far enough in the video where I can curse now. But yeah, you're waiting for the Papa John's to get there, and it's a whole thing. He finally gets there, he's 25 minutes late, and you pretend to be nice about it, and he notices that you're being nice about it. He's like, stand your fucking base, mate. Mate, stand your fucking base. And it would be a whole thing where he almost wants you to confront him so he can slap you. Come on, do it then. Fucking slap me. Slap me in the fucking face, mate. And it would be a whole thing with Conor where you regret going outside, but you'd probably do it again just because he's kind of a rich dude. He's got a funny accent. You kind of want to hear him talk. So we're putting Conor in the greeting him at the door. Next up, we're putting Moicano in the hiding in the house. And this might be confusing because a lot of people like Hinata. I'll tell you why. If you paid in USD or pounds or euros or whatever the fuck people pay with, and Hinata Moicano saw this, he'd be so mad. He'd be like, brother, let me tell you something. This is number one worst way to pay for this order, my brother. My brother, Bitcoin you have to pay with Bitcoin or Ethereum, brother. This is very important. You do not gamble, my brother. You must pay in Bitcoin. And he's stealing the Raul Rosas lines that he used in the video from his podcast. You open the door after not paying in Bitcoin, and he's like, this has got to be one of the ugliest motherfuckers I've ever seen. He's on some bullshit the whole time. He's kind of pissing you off. So you definitely hide in the house after that experience. Next up, I'm putting Dustin Poirier next to Conor and greeting them at the door. I feel like Dustin would be cool as hell to have as a delivery driver. He pulls up, he got you some fucking Popeyes because he's about it. He's from Louisiana, kind of Cajun guy. And you open the door and you've got a Saints jersey on or something. He's like, dude. Drew Brees grew up at my high school, dude. You know, like, Louisiana's my house, dude. And he's doing this whole thing, but the issue would be, just like that photo, he's probably wearing, like, fucking cleats. Like, you're asking him, you're like, hey, Dustin, were you at, like a football game or something? No, dude, I was at a charity event, dude. Come on, yeah, you're a fucking scumbag, dude, for saying I'm at a charity event. Dude, I wasn't at a football game. He's doing a whole thing. He's got autism. You can't mention the wide body frame. You know, it's a whole process. So we'll put Dustin Poirier in the greeting him at the door tier. Next up, an awful person to get your order, Leon Edwards, Leon Scott. But Leon Edwards would be awful as your DoorDash driver, and I'll tell you why. You see Leon Edwards pick up the order, you're like, oh shit, I got Nando's. He's actually going to respect me because he's like a British guy. I got like a British chain primarily, so you'd think he'd be happy about it. But, you know, he'd probably like fucking crash the car on the way there, and you get a call, he's like, what? Bruv, I was fucking sleepy, bruv. Yeah, bruv. It was 4 fucking a.m. You're getting Nando's, bruv. Yeah, sleepy. Can't be bothered. My Mercedes GLE is what I was driving, bruv, but you gotta pay for it now. And it would be a whole thing with Leon. He's like fucking like stuttering and shit, and he's telling you how like he deserves a tip after sitting out a year and a half from DoorDash, and it would be a whole process. So we're gonna put Leon Edwards in the hiding in the house tier. Greeting them at the door, Daniel Cormier. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you meet this guy at the front door, he's probably like a little confrontational at first, like he probably like shoves you or some shit because you didn't get him food in the process. But then you mention like why you ordered McDonald's, and he's like, when I took my kids to McDonald's, we went through 5,000 calories. Yeah. You gotta take your kids to McDonald's. You know, it's like a whole thing. He's like, we smash at Burger King. Like, he's fucking, I can't do a Cormier impression. I don't know why it's in the tier list, but you get what I mean. Like, he'd probably be happy as fuck if you brought up the food you were getting and, like, the origins of why you wanted it. So we're going to put Cormier in the greeting him at the door tier. Next up, hiding in the house. Again, similar to Islam, I don't really have to give a reason for why you would hide from this guy, but Marab would also be a pain because if you tried to go talk to him outside, you like get through a whole conversation, like he's just straight yapping, right? You're trying to like kind of signal, you know, like not an Irish goodbye, but like you'd say some shit like, oh, you know, I think they're calling me from the kitchen. He's like, bro, wait. Bro, do you see? I fight Umar in last fight, and I clip farm, I do TikTok edit against him. Bro, you watch these edits, and it's like a whole process, and he's telling you how he used to do construction, how he can like paint your house and shit. And I feel like Marab would just keep talking, and you'd be pissed because you fucking missed like the third quarter of whatever NBA game you were watching while Marab was fucking yapping about Georgia and, you know, the baddies he's been posted up with on Instagram. So that would just be a shame, I feel like. Next up, actually like a chill-ass dude to probably fucking run into if he had your DoorDash order, Brian Ortega, like, he's like 20 minutes late. Honestly, probably like an hour late to get your order. Like, he picks up your fucking Taco Bell at 2 a.m. at like 4. And you're just like barely awake. You're probably half asleep. And he like knocks on the door and shit, but in like a weird manner, like smooth as hell. You open it, he's like fucking looks maxing. And you say to him, you're like, oh shit, why were you 2 hours late? And he like fucking is like, I'm glad you asked, bro. Dude, I was driving down the street, and I saw an eagle, and bro, this eagle lost a wing, and I thought, wow, it must have lived to be 200 years old if it lost its wing. And just like me in that Diego Lopez fight, I lost a wing, bro. Like Max Holloway fight, like the first Yair fight, I lost my wings, bro, but I'm back. And, you know, he's like fucking yapping, but he's like calm as hell. Like, you kind of fuck with it. You're low-key like blushing and shit while he speaks. It'll probably be a whole process. So we're putting Brian Ortega in the greeting him at the door tier, and I feel like no one's going to disagree with me on that. Also in the greeting them at the door tier, this is our second to last guy, Brandon Moreno. You wouldn't give him a $100 tip because he'd be a little too autistic. Like, you ask him, like, hey, like, you're a pretty cool dude. Like, fucking, you know, when are you actually going to be doing delivery again? Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next day after that, but I promise you one day I'm going to get you Chipotle, brother. One day I'm going to get you Chipotle. And he like keeps repeating the same voice line. Like, literally, you ask him again, you're like, oh, but that didn't really answer it. Like, tomorrow? Maybe not tomorrow. You know, I'm going to build Legos tomorrow probably, but, you know, I'm going to send some Peso Pluma and, you know, build Legos. But, you know, it's like a whole thing, and you're kind of upset with it because you're like, fuck, this is like a chill, tiny-ass dude. Like, I kind of fuck with him like that. But either way, Brandon Moreno, you'd be fine with greeting him at the door. Now, the greatest delivery driver you could possibly get. I'm going to give everyone 2 seconds to guess down below who this is going to be. Good order. Yes. Good McDouble. I like McDouble. Good food, good meal. Shamil Gazv would 100% be the best delivery driver you could get. Are you telling me you wouldn't get butterflies in your stomach if fucking the obese, where is Shamil from? He's from like a random fucking place. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But he's from like a random country. I feel like if Shamil fucking showed up, and maybe he's from like Qatar or some shit. But either way, if Shamil showed up at your door, like fucking belly out, like he's wearing like basically a t-shirt, but it kind of acts as a crop top. Like he's belly out, he's like, I'm so happy you ordered this Taco Bell, yes. And it'll be a whole thing, and you'd be fucking smiling at you. You like give dude a hug at the end. You like fucking touch his belly. You want to feel it and shit because we all want to feel Shamil Gazv's stomach. We would all give him belly rubs. We all love Shamil Gazv over here on this channel. But either way, you know, Shamil would just be absolutely the best. You're giving him like $1,000 as a tip, not even $100. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it for the UFC fighters that I would want as my DoorDash driver tier list. Thank you so much for listening. This was a very new idea. I came up with this about 20 minutes ago and put the photos in. So, thank you all for listening. I appreciate every one of you. Follow my TikTok, Money Manziel MMA, down below. I swear I'm not a bedtime clone. I'm trying my fucking best. Leave me alone. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.